know, the Biden administration has a going out of business clearance sale. They've offered Russia a 2-for-1 deal. The anti-gun administration wants to trade an international arms dealer, the AKA Merchant of Death. You can't make this shit up, y'all. But I'm going to give you my commentary and my opinion. I could be wrong, but I think that a lot of you may be on to maybe understanding where I'm going to go with this, because I don't think that has anything to do with the 7'2" Sasquatch social justice warrior that hates her country, that ironically is now begging to get back. And we know how fake news media is. They'll spin this and make this seem like they're doing a good deed, which I think is a virtual signal. And they're going to add Brittney Griner in there. But I think that this is more than this. I think that they want to get the real player out of there, and they just added her into the mix. So I'm going to play the clip, and then we'll be right back.
I expect to speak with Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov for the first time since the war began. I plan to raise an issue that's a top priority for us: the release of Americans Paul Whelan and Brittney Griner.
The long-awaited release could come at the cost of a high-value prisoner to the U.S. To get both of them back, the president has signed off on a trade. Brittney Griner and Paul Whelan for a notorious Russian arms dealer known as the Merchant of Death. That man's name is Victor Bout. He is currently serving 25 years here in the U.S. on terrorism charges.
Of course, the trade is not a new idea, but now it's gaining support from the State Department as well as the president. Paul Whelan's a Canadian-American, but he's been in a Russian prison since 2018 after being convicted of spying. Brittney Griner, of course, has been in a Russian jail since February after being arrested at the airport in Moscow on drug charges. The U.S. says both have been wrongfully detained. Griner has pleaded guilty but has yet to be sentenced. To finalize the deal, Russia says they must first finalize that trial. As far as Bout, he's a former Soviet military officer and a translator as well, who was convicted in 2011 of giving guns to terrorist groups as well as conspiring to kill American citizens. If the trade does in fact happen, this would be the second one done by the Biden administration this year. It was back in April that Trevor Reed was traded for Konstantin Yaroshenko, who was halfway through a 20-year sentence for conspiring to bring $100 million worth of cocaine into the United States.
And there you have it. Just as I said earlier, this has nothing to do with Brittney Griner. Brittney Griner is nothing but a virtual signal to the Eeyores of color social justice warriors in this country that have learned how to leverage social media and the media to add pressure to people, to make it seem like people have to bend or break or pander to their grievances. This has nothing to do with Brittney Griner is peanuts to this situation. The real player is that ex-Marine. The ex-Marine Paul Whelan, who was sentenced to 16 years in Russia for spying charges. He's locked up for espionage. This is the real player. But this is my question. Why on earth did it take them this long to try to get out an ex-former Marine? Shouldn't that be who we trying to get out? But they try to leverage and make it, now we'll try to get it for this WNBA player. That sucks and nobody even watches. She's a viral celebrity criminal. And what I can't stand is media consistently, like a broken record, keeps saying that she's been wrongfully detained. Now, I looked into this guy. They're claiming he was wrongfully detained, that there's no evidence. But again, he's locked up for espionage. He's probably a United States spy. That's my speculation. You know, I could be wrong, but that's my speculation. He's probably an American spy. He got caught for espionage. But he's saying that he's innocent and he didn't do it. But he's an ex-Marine. He served our country. He put the uniform on and took the oath. He's someone that has honor in serving our country. But yet we allowed him to sit in jail and we didn't try to get him out. I mean, even Trump's administration. So maybe they've been trying to make this negotiation happen, and the Biden administration figured, I guess it's time now, because of the social climate and pressure from the Eeyores of color, social justice warriors, I guess we better try to make some type of deal and leverage this Brittney Griner person, because we're down on the polls with everybody else. We've lost. We're so detached from the people of this country. We got to try to do something. So I think Brittney Griner is small peanuts to this whole thing. But this is the real player. He's in prison right now in Russia for 16 years for espionage, spying charges. He says he's innocent. I have to look up more. Go look up the article. But it's very interesting. But what's interesting to me is and I got my notes. I want to read on this. We have this administration we know as anti-gun. They want to infringe on all of our Second Amendment rights. And I think that it's a hypocrisy that they want to trade an international arms dealer that has been locked up for 25 years. What's his name? His name is Victor Bout, a.k.a. the Merchant of Death. But he's locked up for 25 years. Bout is serving 25 years in the United States prison after he was convicted in 2011. So he's done about 11 years thus far. But I want to read off some of the stuff. They're willing to at least paint the picture to make it seem like they want to negotiate to get a WNBA player out, and they'll give up this international arms dealer. But really, like I said earlier, this is about that Marine, Paul. But we're going to go into this Merchant of Death person. So this guy was charged for conspiracy to provide material support or resources to a terrorist organization, conspiracy to kill Americans, conspiracy to kill American officers or officials, conspiracy to acquire and use an anti-aircraft missile, illegal purchases of an aircraft, wire fraud, money laundering, sentence for conspiracy to sell weapons to a United States designated foreign terrorist group. And here we are, we got Griner that they're spinning on the news, and they continue to keep saying that she's been wrongfully detained when she's already entered into a plea agreement admitting guilt that she brought a substance that is illegal in another country. She hasn't been illegally detained. She broke the law in Russia, so she needs to pay the price of Russian law. When we have people, the hypocrisy here in the United States and this Biden administration, Joe Biden himself, with his 94 crime bill, locked up so many people over drugs, man. Astronomical, disproportionate amount of people for drugs, crack, weed, cocaine, you name it. He locked them up. Even Kamala Harris locked up a bunch of people for weed. Disproportionately locked people up for weed. And then laughed about it on one of them African pride stations, The Breakfast Club with Charlemagne the Devil. The hypocrisy runs there. We have people right now locked up for marijuana, and the United States is willing to make a negotiation trade for not just Brittney Griner, but for Paul, the guy, the ex-Marine that's locked up for espionage over in Russia, and a WNBA player, 7'2" social justice warrior that hates her country and professes it out loud how much she hates the country and doesn't want to support the national anthem, which is her right. But where we fall is it's kind of a hypocrisy and ironic. Now she's begging for her slave master, Joe Biden, to come and get her, which it seems like that's what they're doing. But they will trade a national arms dealer for a social justice warrior and someone locked up for espionage. To me, they should have been focusing on trying to get our ex-Marine that served our country back. That's admirable. And it will really, really, really tickle me. I mean, my ass may perk up if Russia says, no, we'll trade and you guys can have the ex-Marine. We want the Merchant of Death, and we'll keep Brittney Griner here. It will make my day because, she is an American. I may not agree with her. I think that we should try to get her back. But I also feel that because of who she is and what she stands for, that I don't think she's been wrongfully done wrong for anything. I think that she should serve her time. At least the Marine already served a significant amount of time already. She can't even do 6 months. She's crying and carrying on writing letters. I mean, man, you tell me. I could be wrong. So I don't think that this is all about Brittney Griner. I think this is a virtual signal. The Biden administration is losing on every poll, every ethnic group in this country. This is a virtual signal to make it like brownie points that we got Brittney Griner back. And that this has nothing to do with her. This is more about getting our ex-Marine back that's locked up for espionage over in Russia. I'm curious to see what Russia's going to do. What do you guys think they're going to do? You think they're going to take this switch? You think this is a good deal? Do you think Brittney Griner should stay her ass over there and enjoy and take a knee while she serves her time for breaking the law in Russia? which is also illegal here in the United States and in most states here. So, you know, put it in the comments. If this is your first time stopping on the channel, thank you. I appreciate you supporting the channel. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell. And if you want to put a big middle finger to the algorithm, please like, comment, and share because you could save somebody's life. As always, we have a country to save. It's your boy, Craig Long 45, and I am out. Peace.
Yeah, oi.